That's right. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? Are you doing well? Because we got a really, really, really big show here this afternoon. I hope you're going to enjoy it. I hope you're going to listen up. We are going to be talking with Andrew Ellenburg and his business partner, Cindy Stewart, about Flyby bicycles. That's right. We're going to be talking about that. Having Flyby e-rides. You can ride an electric bicycle. Did you know you can actually rent one right here in Greenwood? Try it out, see if you like it. Not like I did and bought the thing and then had to sell it because I couldn't ride it. But that's a story for another day. That was several years ago, and of course they certainly have changed a lot. So I want to welcome in this afternoon. Andrew, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm so awesome, man, and I really appreciate you having us on today.
Absolutely. This is exciting. Cindy, how are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. This is amazing.
This is amazing. Yeah, okay, well, cool. I not many people say it's amazing, so this is cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. But, Andrew, you have been through a lot. Now, you're from Greenwood. You grew up in Greenwood. Evidently, you moved to Florida, or you were when you had your accident, were you living in Florida? Or?
Sure, yeah. I had moved to Jacksonville. I was only there for 3 months before my accident, but...
And you liked to ride motorcycles at that time?
Yeah, I mean, since I was 14, I've, been riding motorcycles nearly daily, and... unfortunately, I did have an accident which left me unable to walk for nearly a year. I had to move back whenever, this took place. So, here I am back in Greenwood.
Absolutely. Well, it is an amazing story what you've been through in life. That is for sure. But how did you get from almost killing yourself on a motorcycle to being in the business of electric bikes, I guess would be the story that we should talk about here today.
Sure. Yeah. So, obviously I didn't see myself, getting into electric bicycles. It was kind of something that just took off. Whenever, I started riding bikes, in an effort to be able to get out and spend more time with my daughter. She loves, anything outdoors. And that went from us, riding by ourselves to actually meeting my business partner. We started, all riding together. And, we kind of just decided, I was missing that thrill of, motorized, being on two wheels. But we were able to get 2 bikes. We started riding, they had the back seats, mm-hmm. and they were, so adjustable. We were able to make them work for both of us because I'm not tall. I'm 5'8", and Cindy's, right
barely 5.
Yeah. So, to be able to have that option on the same bike, even though we got the same bike, we're able to, swap them out if we wanted to. But the coolest part to me was that every time we would go through town, or if we'd go to the park, if we saw anybody, you could guarantee that they were going to stop us and ask, "Where did you get that?" And it was just over and over and over again. And it just, I had the idea many years ago that, it would be awesome to do it. But, me and Cindy sat down and decided it was time to do it.
So in your business, now you opened up down there by the Greenwood Sandwich Shop. I think everybody knows where the Greenwood Sandwich Shop is, oh, yeah. Right there on, what's the address exactly?
So we're on 204 Emerald Road North. It's over right behind the Hardee's, over where the old New York Pizza and Pasta used to be at.
Right. So they've got a big place there. I actually went there Monday, and we looked at some of the bikes, and they've got it all set up. They also like doing live videos of their treks and journeys out there. But, one of the things to me I would have thought would have been the question is, how you riding that thing without pedaling it? Because it is pretty amazing. I thought it was going to be great, and I think Greenwood is a great town for this type of thing, an electric bicycle. Am I right there?
Absolutely. I mean, I totally agree. When we first started riding, I didn't even consider riding through town, but the more that we do it, the more that I see that, the possibilities that this has. We aren't going, 50 and 60 miles an hour on these bikes, but, to be
How
able
fast
to go.
do they go?
So, I mean, it really depends, but all of our bikes go between 25 and 35 miles an hour.
So they should be good in most speed zones here in the city.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, I wouldn't take it on the interstate, but going through town, I haven't had any issues. With Greenwood, they do have an ordinance that you are not supposed to ride on the sidewalk, which I believe many people kind of just don't
observe.
Know that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something that people talk about, but riding on the road is the way that they are intended to be used.
Right.
But,
So, what do you see as a vision? Now, you have some bikes. You able to lease them out, rent them out? How does that work?
Sure. So everything is streamlined. It's all online. So if you go to our website, you can just click at the top. You can book now, and that takes you right to the different styles of bikes. You can see the prices, and we have a little breakdown of the speeds and what they're capable of. Like I said, some of them have 2 seats. Some of them you're able to ride together. Some of them are have longer seats. Some of them are more for off-roading. So it really depends on the type of riding you're going to be doing. It seems like most people right now, they really enjoy just riding through town, just cruising to go see friends, or I know a lot of people love to go to I want to call it the old Civic Center. I know that's not what it's called anymore. The Jeff May Complex.
What they call the old Civic Center is, let's see, the Greenwood County Recreational Area, I believe. Is that right?
Okay.
I think that's right. AKA the old Civic Center, AKA the Wilbank Center. That's how I describe it. Yep.
Yeah, they got the awesome park that's built out there now, and a lot of people go out there to play basketball and football and things, and it is an awesome place to for us to gather and be active outside, which is a big thing that I feel like should be looked at or maybe taken more seriously, is that we need to get out and do more things. We have
absolutely, we need to get outside. I mean, well, we just have the President's Council on Physical Fitness now, so I guess so, right? All right, so tell me if somebody is there an age that you have to be in order to rent one of your bikes?
Sure. So right now our guidelines are that you must be at least 14. That is subject to change at any time depending on how the laws get structured here in Greenwood, because as of right now there is no kind of limit or boundary as to what an electric bicycle is. And that's something that we are working with the city to try to determine what will work best for the city, because I don't believe having bicycles that go 70 and 80 miles an hour makes sense. It's something that if you go on YouTube or any social media site, you can see that these bikes do exist and they're becoming more rampant. And
do they come under the same qualifications as a moped?
So the way that I set up the standards for our rules and regulations when you come to rent is based off of that. If you're under 21, you have to wear a helmet. That's not a law. That's just a requirement by us, and we feel like that everyone should wear a helmet. But if
I would think you should be the spokesperson for that.
I completely advocate for that.
You were not wearing a helmet when you had your horrible motorcycle accident, were you?
Yeah, no, I was not. And I used to think that I was too cool for a helmet,
right?
That I couldn't wear my headphones and I couldn't, feel the breeze in my hair when I was riding. But,
Now you have a different attitude?
I am 100% on board with helmets or no riding. So I don't ride motorcycles anymore, but if I'm on a bicycle, you will see me out and about through town, and I will have a helmet on.
Okay, so they've got to wear a helmet if they're under 21. Now, what other, I mean, how does it relate to moped? Is there a relationship? Don't you have to have a tag for them or something? Don't they have to be registered?
You do have to have, I don't think you have to have mopeds registered, but you are supposed to have a tag. There are no such regulations as of this moment for electric bicycles. If it has pedals, it's considered a bicycle and not a motorized vehicle.
Okay.
And if you do go on the trails, like we have so many trails in Greenwood, people have no idea. Like the Heritage Trail, the West Cambridge Park Trail, and there's several others throughout town that you'll see that there are signs up, like at Gray Street Park, that say no motorized vehicles. And I did make sure when we first started that I talked to Billy Garrett, the president of the Parks and Trail Foundation, or
Billy Nicholson.
Billy Nicholson, yes, sorry, not Billy Garrett, Billy Nicholson, and made sure that was okay. And he did, he's an e-bike advocate himself, and is, to my understanding, has been trying to set certain standards in place for what an e-bike is and where they're allowed. And as of this moment, e-bikes are allowed on all the trails in Greenwood. There's no limitations, and we encourage people to go check these out, because every time I go out there, there are no trail marks. It's just me out there, riding these trails. And we want to just let people know that there is other things that you could do around here.
Well, I think one of the things that I think is really cool that y'all have done, you do rides where you invite the public to come out, whether they're on one of your bikes or bring their own bike, right?
Sure. Yeah, we think, if you are available every Sunday at 7:30, we leave our shop, which is beside the Greenwood Sandwich Shop. And if you would like to come ride, doesn't matter what you come on, as long as it's not gas. We prefer that you not bring your dirt bike out, but bicycle, scooter, whatever it is, if it's got wheels and you want to come ride with us, we welcome you.
And what do you do on these rides?
So we just go down through the different trails. Typically we go straight to Uptown, and we'll go travel through all of the trails that are in the specific. Or
now, do you ride your bikes from your place, or do you go to Uptown?
Yeah, no. So we meet. We have a few people that actually come with us sometimes to meet. We meet at our shop, and we will drive to Uptown.
Okay.
And then that's when we'll get on the trail system, which takes us all the way through town basically. And we kind of just wing it from there. We just ride around until everybody's ready to give up for now. But
now, what about riding after dark?
So all of our bikes have headlights and taillights. Most of them have blinkers and horns. So it is up to you, if that's something you feel comfortable with. We do it on a regular basis. I actually ride a bike home almost every single night when I leave the shop at 8 or 9 o'clock. So, I love it. I love riding at night because it's cooler.
Right.
But, that's totally up to you. I would suggest anybody that's wanting to get into this to definitely probably start in the daytime. But, the more comfortable you get and the more used you get to, riding through town, and where there are certain spots that aren't as comfortable for us to ride, whether that be maybe a pothole or just a road that's not wide enough. Most of our roads have shoulders and really wide lanes, so it's not a problem.
Well, that's the other thing. Now, if you're riding a bike and you have to ride on the road, right, that's kind of, you don't take up the space like a motorcycle does, right?
Absolutely.
You actually have to ride on the shoulder. I would think that would be a little scary.
And that goes back to what I was saying. It depends on where you're riding at. I know that there are some places, like especially like I think of by the mall, that I feel somewhat uncomfortable riding through. Anywhere where there's heavy congestion, typically you may feel unease. So that depends on, like I said, your comfortability. There's signs up all over Greenwood of, it's a bicycle and it says share the road. We're supposed to be able to ride bikes, and
Right.
I know that Greenwood is working towards a more cycle friendly community.
Well, okay. So how are we working towards a more cycle-friendly community?
Sure, yeah. There's already been plans drawn up that that outline where the necessity for bike trails to be, to add, whether it be bike lanes or just more trails or extensions of the ones that we already have. Those are things that I have been involved with, and I have seen that are really shaping and are coming way sooner than, I mean, most people just, it's like the trails that are already here, we're just so unaware, but there is a need. There's actually, I can link the website to your page, and I'll put it on mine again as well, but that show, if you already do ride bikes, the city is already asking for people to give their input on where we need these bike lanes, because
So there's an ongoing survey, really, is what you're saying, an ongoing
absolutely
survey.
yeah, we're trying to figure out where it's needed the most so that we can implement these resources that are already allocated to us. We want to make sure that we're using these to the best of our ability and not just, trying things out.
Right, right, right. Well, I think it's really neat, and I thought it was really neat several years ago when I ventured in and plunged and bought a bicycle. Now, you have several suppliers that you work with on the bikes that
Sure.
you purchase?
Yeah, and I've heard that so many times. I've seen so many people that buy these bikes online,
Right.
and
Well, if you didn't have anywhere you could go, or if you looked
Right.
up, well, go to Augusta and you can maybe find this store that's open, right? Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, go find it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's right here. Now all you got to do, we have several, I mean, we don't have tons of bikes, but we have several different styles, all of the basic styles that you would find anywhere, whether it's foldable, fat tire, standard mountain bike, moped style, that you can actually come, put your butt in the seat and see which one works for you, because there's nothing worse than getting on a bike that you can't ride, or buying a bike and putting it together and realizing that it doesn't work for you. And
That's right. I used to bundle up, and it was in the winter, so I'd bundle up and wear all my heavy clothes out there, and I'd go to turn, and I'd fall off the thing. And I mean, it just was perpetual. I couldn't even get on it. I'm so short, I couldn't even get on it. I would stand on the stair step out there to try to get on it. But even if I went to fall, couldn't even get my feet to the ground before I would fall. I mean, it was not fun. It was not fun.
Absolutely. And we have, we're, I guess you could say, trained, like we know how to measure people to see, where you stack up, because there's different sizes of bikes, as you know.
Right.
But we actually have one of our vendors we're about to start working with, Aventon. They actually make several of their bikes that are designed for people that are as, I don't want to say short, but small as 4'11".
Right.
And, we're hoping that gives more people the ability to ride these bikes, because that is something that we hear very often, is that, they're
And they're
too
heavy.
big. Yeah,
They're
very
heavy. They're heavy, yeah.
Yeah, it depending on the style you pick, they can be, up to 90 pounds, which is very heavy for a bicycle.
Exactly. Now, what about trikes? Because I know trikes are a new thing that are happening out there. And I think for somebody said, Ann, that's what you need. And I said, oh, I don't need a trike. And then now that I think about it, I think, yeah, I should have got the trike.
Maybe I should have went that
Yeah,
direction.
right, yeah.
And we have had a little bit of interest for that, and that's something that we definitely are working towards. It's not something that we offer yet, but
Right.
it is absolutely something that we hope to have by the end of the year for sure.
Yeah, because and I think for there's a pretty good interest in just regular trike bicycles for our older people to ride and be able
Absolutely.
to pick up some groceries and take it back and this type of thing. Yeah, the biggest thing I heard about this before my failure to launch here was that and you can't go out there; a car will hit you. That was the biggest thing that I heard. Oh my God, you can't be doing this. All my friends were telling me, you can't be doing this. And I was like, oh, yes, I can. Then I got on the bike and said, oh, no, I can't. I could just see me out on the road and all of a sudden something push me over, I just would fall over or something. I felt like a cartoon. And I was just riding in my driveway here, just trying to ride in the driveway.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, yes, I was a pioneer for the electric bicycle business here in Greenwood. Anyways, some of the other things that, so eventually you're saying the city of Greenwood wants to help with putting in some bike paths on the roads, I guess we're talking about. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. There's already been plans drawn up. I mean, there's already been a group. I can't recall the name of the group that actually came in and evaluated and surveyed the area to see where they would best suit our needs for what we have right now. Because obviously we're pioneering it. We appreciate your efforts and trying to get us started, and that's kind of been laid at our feet. This is we've been having to build the interest for it. We knew this was something that was going to take off, but we had to figure out how to spread the awareness and how to get people to get started doing it. But we're hoping that we're able to work with the city and not only getting that information out so that people can actually get these bike paths, these lanes, these ways to make cycling more friendly available to the city. And I think that the plans are like from 2015, so I believe the ones that I saw. So I mean, that's how long this has been ongoing. And
well, I think originally they were trying to put regular bicycle paths in. I think that's what I think if you're now in the new park that they're building right now, they're actually going to have a pump track on that one.
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm so excited to get out there on it.
Really, with your electric bike?
I
Or what
may
are you?
take it
What
out
are you
there.
thinking?
I mean,
What are
the
you
electric
thinking?
bikes are definitely capable of riding.
Right.
I'm not sure if.
You got a motorbike? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh no! I think that that there's gonna be a pretty big crowd up there, from what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it. The pump tracks. I've never been on a pump track, but what I am very passionate about is the actual trails that are already on the Gray Street Park. Like, people have no idea there's mountain bike trails all throughout
On the Gray Street
Park. Yeah, absolutely. And there's so much fun, and there's videos on our Facebook and on our TikTok that of us riding through there. It's a blast. And I mean, it's sort of still being developed, but it's already there. If you have the desire to go try it before you go buy one, I mean, come rent a bike and come see what's already in place there, whether it's paved trail, gravel, or off-road. I mean, there's even right on the outskirts of town at Parsons Mountain, there's huge trails. I think it's like 30 miles of bicycle trails.
Now, how long do the batteries last on your bikes?
Now, that is going to depend on how fast you're going. So if you want to go...
Does it matter how heavy you are, too?
It is dependent on, how big the hills are, how big, how much
How
weight
big you are?
Yeah, absolutely. How much weight you're putting on there, because some of our bikes are like cargo style, so you can carry groceries already. You don't have to have a trike,
Right.
but it is something that you have to take into account when I ride. And if I'm maintaining about 15 to 20 miles an hour, even the smallest battery bike, I'm able to go between 25 and 30 miles. Now,
Yeah, okay. Could you pedal it back, though, if the power died?
yeah, and I do it all the time just to make sure that I can do it, that's something that I'm capable of, is turn the electric motor off and just pedal it home some days just
Well,
so I
can't
can
you?
get
You
it.
can pedal these bikes, too. I think a lot of people, you don't have to have it just on electric power all the time.
No, absolutely, and we have the way that we set up our rentals. They're power assisted, so as long as your feet are moving, then it's gonna assist you. But you're able to adjust and control how much assist it gives you. So if you want to stay in the 4 or 5 mile range, mile an hour range, you just tune it down. And I mean, it's a simple click of a button that allows you to control how fast you're going. And if you feel like a speed demon and you need to feel it pulling on you, then you can just
Fly by? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
you
Fly
can crank
by?
it up. You can get out of here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think there is such a really a market for it, and I applaud y'all for going ahead and getting a store. I mean, that was a big step, and having bikes on hand. We are talking with Andrew Ellenburg right here, and his business partner Cindy Stewart right here on WCRS. They own Flyby E-Rides. If you've got a question or a comment here this morning, we are live on Facebook. We're also live on the radio, 864-229-7984. You can call or text if you want me to get that message while we're on the air. You do need to text. So this is something that's coming, and we are excited to be on the forefront of bringing this to you right here on WCRS Radio. We are going to take a quick commercial break. If you are on the radio, you are going to hear some ads that keep all this going. If you are on Facebook, you are going to actually hear some music. So we'll be right back. Don't you go away. This is WCRS Radio. Again, if you would like to ask a question, 864-229-7984. That's 864-229-7984. If you're on Facebook with us, like and share what we're doing here, because that's how we get the word out to everybody. This is WCRS. We'll be right back. That's right. We're right back here at WCRS Radio. I'm Ann Eller. We are on WCRS Radio, having a good time here with Andrew Ellenburg and his business partner, Cindy Stewart. Now, Andrew, you have a daughter. How old is she?
She just turned 7.
And she's really the mastermind behind this, isn't she?
Everybody calls her my little helper, but she's the one that's running the show.
Yeah. The first time I saw you down there at the Railroad Museum Center there, she was pretty much talkative, telling me the way it was.
Oh, yeah. Yep. She'll let you know real quick what's going on.
I think that's great. Now, and can she ride by herself?
She is not big enough to ride by myself. She loves to ride. She asks me several times a day if we can go for a ride, and she likes to sit up front. So it's not going to be much longer, I don't think.
Right. Do they have smaller ones for children or not? No.
So that is kind of something that I've noticed isn't catered to as much. They do make kids bikes, but they're not like bicycles. They're more like dirt bikes.
Right.
I'm hoping that is something. I don't know if that's something we'll be able to rent out, but that's definitely something that, we hope to be able to do, because, I mean, why wouldn't kids want to do it?
Right, yeah. And particularly if you're trying to do as a family. Now, Cindy wanted us to talk about the physical aspects of this and how much exercise that you can get. Is that right, Cindy?
Well, when we first got the bikes, I didn't pedal either, and that's the assumption, right? Like, right. Let the battery do the work, let the motor do the work. And that's true. It will. You can. That is a choice. But then as we were biking across town to go to the newest ice cream shop, I thought to myself, I could balance this out if I just move my feet a little bit.
Right.
And so when I did, I started moving my feet, and it just felt better. I don't even know how to, the scientific, my brain started giving me dopamine. But, just in that movement, I have fibromyalgia. That started to get better. I didn't have to take the medication as much for that. Mental health started to improve, riding along, and I feel like it's almost magical in a way, putting on some music in your ears or on a Bluetooth speaker. And I mean, just some days we need some way to let loose, and that is a perfectly healthy, safe way to do that, to scream, sing at the top of your lungs going down the road. And that helps balance out some of the chaos that we deal with day to day, and the fears that we deal with on the news, and, just all the other stuff. Like, it really has been such a benefit and blessing. So, yeah, it's important for me to say that this has been the bridge from sitting everywhere I went to
sitting on a bicycle.
And pedaling, yes, and pedaling. My self-esteem has gone up. My body has felt better. My mind has been healthier, and so.
It definitely, getting more active. Like, my daughter, as soon as we get on, she's like, "Play my song, Dad." And, we're like yelling, screaming, riding down the road. And it's like, it is an experience that you don't get sitting in front of the TV at home.
Well, I actually agree. I'm having a little fun here, but I think an electric bicycle, the amount of exercise people can get, and knowing the public the way we know people. Well, why should I pedal if I've got an electric bike, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do think it is really neat, and so. Andrew, how much does Flyby e-ride bikes cost to rent? How do you do that?
So we got it set up. Right now, it's set up to where you can rent by the hour, but most people typically do like a half day, which is 4 hours, and a full day for 8 hours. Mm-hmm. It's basically different for every bike, but they start at around $25 an hour, and it really depends. Like the speed is the price differentiator.
Okay.
But the ones that are priced more economically, those are the ones that are able to go the distance. Those are the ones that you could ride all day and not have to put your feet on the pedals if you don't want to. You can put them up on the handlebars and ride, and you won't have to worry about coming back to charge the battery.
Right. So basically, is that a range, $25 an hour?
I mean, that's the way we have our peak. It's probably gonna not be as much, but right now in the summertime, it's because we were renting our bikes out. Like we had to set the price to where it is now. During I guess you could call it the off peak season, the
like winter time.
Yes, when it's not as pleasant to ride, it'll go back to our original price, which was it starts at $15 an hour.
Okay.
And it's I think it's 35 for 4 hours, so it's it's very very reasonable
so the
for what you're
35
getting.
was for the 4 hours.
For 4 hours, yeah.
And how much is it in peak season for 4 hours?
So that same bike is $50 for 4. I believe
50 or 60.
Yeah, I think it's 50 for 4 hours for that same bike.
So
Okay,
the
so
longer-
it's not $100 for 4 hours.
No.
You said something like
the
20.
price
Yeah.
goes down. The longer you rent it,
Right.
the cheaper it is, and that's mostly just because we have to a lot of times go pick up the bikes or drop the bikes because we don't.
So you'll take the bikes and drop them off for people and everything? That's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
You take them to my house and say, "Here you go, Ann.
If
Take
that's-
off on it."
if
We'll be
that's where
back in
you
8
want it,
hours
that's
to
where
take
it'll
it
be.
back.
Yeah,
Yes.
we like to take them, we can take them to the trails. And like I said, most people don't know that we even have trails here. So to be able to, pick
Show
which
people.
type of riding you'd like to do, maybe you want to try one of the more technical courses, we could drop them off at the Gray Street Park. Or if you want to check out the paved trail, we could go to Florida Avenue and show you, how nice it is, like how nice the trails are around here. Because it's so beautiful. People have no idea.
That's really surprising that that we have this and people don't know more about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing, and I'm grateful that we're able to do this and help get people out there, because I know that just people hearing this, it's going to spark their interest and want to get them out there to go see, especially while the weather's not 110 degrees anymore.
Well, and particularly because we're going into fall, and that is one of the most bestest times, I think,
Oh, yeah.
for being outside. So, Flyby e-rides, and what's your phone number over there, Andrew?
So if you want to give us a call, that's 877-283-5929. It's 877-28-FLYBY is our phone number.
Who's your phone number? Okay, and we wanted to talk a little bit more about, you've got an event coming up over at Lander the end of the month. I think it's August 27th?
Yep, that's the 27th. That's the
Student orientation, something where they...
the name just slipped my mind again. Lander something.
It's to introduce local businesses to the Lander students, I believe. Isn't
absolutely,
that what that is about?
It's to introduce them to things that they may be interested in while they're here, because a lot of Lander students are coming from out of town, whether it's from a different country or just a different city, and they have no idea what's here. They're having
Correct.
to figure it all out from the beginning. So, but we're going to be there. We're going to be able to actually allow people to demo bikes there, which is a big thing. Typically at events, we can't let people ride, and Lander is allowing us to allow people to demo these bikes.
Now that brings up another question. What about insurance if you're renting a bike, an electric bike? What about insurance? Do they have to buy some insurance from you like you
Sure.
do in a car rental, or?
Yeah, so right now, that's not something that we offer. We do have, unfortunately, we have to have a waiver that everybody signs. But insurance on the consumer end. So if you come to rent a bike, you don't have to have insurance. That's kind of,
It's your choice.
that's That's
Freedom of
basically
choice.
what the waiver
Wait a minute.
says.
Freedom of choice. You have that?
You know yourself that you can fall off a bike. It's just part of the process. If you grew up as a kid, you probably rode a bike and you probably fell off of it. So it is a possibility, and that's why we strongly encourage helmets. But
do you have helmets to rent, or do they have to have
helmets
or what?
come standard with our bikes. If you rent a bike from us, we're gonna at least try to get you to put it on.
Okay.
So that's something that is included. We include with the rentals, we include the phone holders, and we include, the basic necessities that you'll need to be able to take a trip through town.
Wait a minute. If you're supposed to be commuting with nature, should you have your phone, readily available? Come on, let's talk about this.
GPS. Yes.
Yeah, these trails that people have never been to, they need to know how to get to them.
And how to get back, I guess, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
See, breadcrumbs doesn't work in today's world, does it? Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty interesting. Let's talk a little bit about what's going to be happening at Landers. So the kids are going to be able to demo the bikes. You mean you're actually going to let them ride it around the quad or something and check it out?
Absolutely, yeah, just to check it out, just to see. And I mean, mostly this particular demo is we're going to have our bike, we're going to have a system set up so that the students that are coming, that are going to be there for a limited time, we're going to allow them basically to lease our bikes over the school year. So what that's going to include is them, getting a brand new bike. They're going to get everything completely taken care of. The service, they don't have to, they need to focus on school. They don't need to focus on working on their bike and making sure that the tires are pumped up. We're going to have somebody that regularly comes through and checks all those things and make sure that everything is up to
You mean
snuff.
you're going to have somebody come by and pump them up? I'm impressed.
Yes. Full service bike. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. So, so they can lease them for the school year, and I guess what will you be doing? Purchasing the bikes based on how many orders that you get, right?
Absolutely,
right.
yeah. However many people decide that this is a fit for them, because I know international students, they
Not gonna
can't
buy
get
car.
a license. I mean, it's not possible. It's not feasible for them. And then I believe it's freshman students. They're not even allowed to drive. So,
They have to live on campus. Yes. So then the other part of it is a lot of students go, right, for Christmas break or summer break. Some choose to stay, of course, but we were going to be offering storage if they did want to purchase. So if you want this bike to be yours, we still offer the membership packages to help service them and make sure that concern is off your shoulders. But also, we can store them while you're gone. We're also doing an upgrade for certain packages as well. So I know he's looking at me like, you are telling all the secrets, but yeah.
Well, I
So
don't
we have
think it's
some
really a secret.
really
It's
cool.
about service.
It is.
It's
It is about service and being almost like surprising at how well we've thought out what the needs of the students and consumers would be. We want to be just above the regular customer service. It's really important to let them know that they are the focus of this.
Absolutely. I think that's great. And even though they have their bus system that transports around, it's only within certain hours and certain
Exactly.
confines. So this gives a student much more independence.
It does. I know that there are some clubs and groups and stuff that meet, and they call it the lander line. The last trip of the lander line occurs before they're even out of their clubs and practices and whatever they're doing. And so to give them now a trip home, better than walking out there, I think is going to be a blessing.
No, that's cool. So this could be a really good boom for your business. Now, what about leasing a bike to somebody that's not a Lander student? Would you do that, or is this just for Lander students? Just asking.
Sure. So as of right this moment, this leasing program that we're setting up is for Lander students. Something that leasing is something that we have, discussed. It is mostly for students that don't live in Greenwood. Because frankly, if you live in Greenwood, purchasing a bike, it just makes more sense. Because we can still service it, we can still make sure it's taken care of. But this is for the people that don't want to take the bikes home at the end of the trip. If you do, that's fine. It's
How about a buyback program? You're going to have
Absolutely.
a buyback program here, so that would be another option, right?
yeah. You can either, if you want to, let somebody else use it, or if you need to pass it down, or if you want to sell it to us to sell to somebody else, that's totally up to you. It's however you feel like, it's whatever whatever gives you whatever gives you the outcome that you desire. That's what we're here for.
Well, I think I think you have thought about a lot of the different aspects of it. I think that's great. But I think one of the things that as we finish up the show here this evening, we should talk about where the city of Greenwood lies in this and how excited are they, how people can get involved in making sure that the city, of course, going to city council is a way. If there is some survey or there
Yes,
that
the survey link.
that people can find out about and look at, and of course coming to your place just to be able to see what's going on. You also have you have a website, and you also have a Facebook page where you post a lot of information too, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. We're Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It's Flyby E-Ride. If you search for us on any social media, you'll find us. We post pretty regularly. And our website is flybyeride.com. We try to keep it pretty consistent, to make it easy for everybody. Now, as far as meeting us, we highly recommend that you come out, that you come check the bikes out, see why so many people are getting e-bikes all of a sudden. There's just been a big turn in the affordability, the availability of different size bikes, the different speeds. I mean, it comes down to, the affordability of them. Not too long ago, most e-bikes were $3,000 to $4,000, and now you can get an e-bike on TikTok for $650.
Wow.
So it's that affordability that has made this boom in popularity, and that's what we're trying to make sure that we are catering to, not just in getting e-bikes out, but to be able to offer bikes that you don't have to constantly repair and send back. Because if you buy a bike online, then
It's a problem.
You're the one that has to take care of it. If there's an issue when you get it, that's on you to fix. And if you buy a bike from us, you're able to make sure that it fits you. We're able to make sure that it is up to our standard before you ever even see it or get to ride on it. So it takes a lot of that nervousness that a lot of people have.
Well, and there's so many types of bikes out there, and you have to wonder, did I get a good bike? Did I get a good bike? Not only that, when I was buying the bikes, and like I said, this was several years ago, they all were made in China. Right. Yes. You didn't have any, and even if you thought you were getting one from a different country or something, like maybe the USA, they all came from China. If you really traced it back, they all were. In fact, at the time that I bought mine, they all were shipping them from the same place, even though they were different companies.
Absolutely, yeah. And a lot of the bikes that I've seen, it's basically the same bike rebranded over and over again.
Right.
And that's why we choose the bikes in particular that we're going to have at Lander. They are, designed and assembled in America. That's something that I've noticed is huge. Like it's very difficult to find an affordable bike that's made in America, and we have done our best to make sure that all processes are as much as possible done in America. There are a lot of parts that are still made in China, but at least they are designed here in America. They're assembled here, and
That's good to know. Yeah.
We take pride in making sure that we are carrying bikes that people actually care about, and not just trying to sell a bike. That's not our goal. Our goal is to get people excited about this. And that's why we're trying to build that community and get people to come ride with us Sundays at 7:30.
Sundays at 7:30.
That's right. Now, just for the record, do they have to? I mean, could they meet you uptown? Since you said you usually go uptown, could they just meet you? Because there's plenty of parking and everything up from there.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, the easiest way to figure out where to meet us at is to join our Facebook, Flyby E-Ride, and because I'm always live, if a lot of times on TikTok, if TikTok's your thing, but typically we do our Sunday rides on Facebook, so all you have to do is look to see where we are.
You have
and
to sign up for
meet us there.
notifications so you get notified when you all go live, right?
Absolutely, yeah. If you've joined our page, you should see us up there.
It's Flyby Electric Bicycles on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay, so make sure you do join in, and even if you just want to bring a regular bike, your regular bikes are okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to come ride with us, please join us. Yeah, absolutely. And the particular groups, there are several groups that are stemming, have come up. Some are not quite into the stages of getting outside help, but I just wanted to throw out, Live Healthy Greenwood Alliance. We are, as much as we can, a big part of that group, and we hope that it grows into what we see it turning into, because, Greenwood has, I feel like I'm about to butcher the numbers, but it's like 40% of people in Greenwood are obese or overweight.
Higher than that.
Yeah. And it's like 13%
70.
have diabetes. And I mean, I feel like this is anything you can do to
get
out
moving.
and about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna change your life. Like, even if it's just for a little bit, like, to be able to have that thing that you can look forward to.
Yes.
Well, when we were, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, get outside and play. Get outside and play, right? And you can come home when when the lights come on, when the lights come on, can make sure you're home. But we used to be outside people. We
now
share
it's
time.
More, is your battery dead? Did you charge it?
Right.
That's a lot.
And
of
we're
what
talking
you're
about
doing.
even one of the things that concerns me, truthfully, is posture.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because everybody is hunched over that phone or hunched over. Yeah. So get outside and do some stuff. Go by and see Flyby E-Rides. They have a store right next to the Greenwood Sandwich Shop, and they would love to see you out there. They would love to be able to show you. They'd love to be able to fit you for a bike. They'd love to be able to tell you their story. So as we finish up here, you would love people to come by. I wanted to go over one more time the city relationship with getting more bike paths. So whether you're into electric bikes or just a regular bike, having that safety of a bike path, I think is pretty important.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it's like I said, it's something that they, from what I know, from what I understand, within the year, we're at least expected to have a trial bike path put in, and it's going to be on the highway. I know that right now it's up in the air as to the 2 or 3 different locations that it may be, whether it's over by Greenwood High between the Gray Street Park or on the other side of town. But it's definitely something that is in gear, and it is moving, and it is something that is already been allocated for.
We doing it, honey. Yes.
Yes. Well,
if you decide that you don't, we have there's so many things to do, like Greenwood Adventures. Like, if you don't want to ride bikes, you could go rent kayaks and paddle boats, or there's so many different things you could do. And I'm hoping that this Live Healthy Greenwood Alliance, they're going to bring all that together. And it's going to make it easier for people to just look at a list and say, let's go do that.
Yes.
And, to get people out.
Yeah. Now, what about real quick, what about out there at the lake? Are you doing any riding out there?
I mean, I've been to the state park. I don't personally know of places out there to ride. I'm sure there are. Mm-hmm. I'm not real big in into that side of town, I guess.
Right.
We're kind of on the uptown side, but I'm honestly not sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they're just
There's a lot of homes that kind of take over a lot of space over there. But we are open to new spots. It's definitely beautiful out there, and if you
Absolutely.
live at the lake, you can purchase one, and we'll find a way to make it safe travels. Right.
Right, absolutely. Well, Andrew Ellenburg and Cindy Stewart with Flyby e-rides, Flyby e-bikes. Check them out. They would love to talk to you, and I want to thank you so much for coming
Thank
in this
you.
afternoon.
Thank you so much, Ann. I
Thank
really appreciate you.
It's
Thank
been
you
a
for
lot
all
of
you do.
it's been a lot of fun to talk about this. So stay tuned right here on WCRS. I will be back in the morning. I'll be here giving you my points of view. The news according to Ann. That's right. Anyways, this is WCRS right here in Greenwood. I hope you all have a great evening. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that'll do it for us. Take it away. Music, lights, action. We're done. Bye-bye, everybody.